guys, so look at this. Look, we have a place. We have a place to film. It's a work in progress. I know the lighting isn't perfect, but look, this is my cute chalkboard, and I never thought to use it before in a video, but it's adorable. Yeah, it's got these little heart lights. I know it's kind of like, the lighting's just weird, but this is all my stuff that I'm doing next week. I have my little subscribers down here. Right now we got 22. And we have a calendar over here. It's just cuteness. So it's a lot better than the boring blank wall. And we're gonna work on it some more. I'm not a fan of this mirror right here. So for now, that's that. And I wanted to wrap up pretty much everything that happened healing wise and like, you know, all the other stuff, like what actually happened when I got my tonsils out. You know, I did the vlogs, but I felt like doing one big, what am I trying to say? Doing one video that kind of wraps everything up would be helpful. So that's what I'm gonna do. Let's get started. The actual surgery. So I went in, I think it's been a month now. I went in October 13th to get my tonsils out. Today is like November 11th, I think. So when I actually went in, the first thing they made me do is, this is kind of gross, but they make you do a pregnancy test, especially, obviously not a kid. They wouldn't make a kid do it, but since I went in as an adult, like I went in as an adult to get them out, they wanted me to take a pregnancy test to make sure I wasn't pregnant, obviously. They made me take a pregnancy test. They made me like pee in a little cup, and I did not have to pee because you're not allowed to drink water within 8 hours of the surgery or something. Like 8 a.m. I don't know, for me it was from 8 a.m. I wasn't allowed to drink any water till I went in at like 11, except for like a sip to take my medicine because I have a thyroid condition called Hashimoto's thyroiditis. I can get into that a different day. After that, they also, while I was in the bathroom, they made me change into a surgery robe, like, you know, like a hospital gown. And so that happened. They gave me these cute little socks though, with like these little paw prints on it. They're really cute. It's likely that you'll end up, if you get your tonsils out, no matter what age you are, you're probably going to end up somewhere that caters toward kids, because kids are normally the ones who get their tonsils out. Like normally they don't do it past the age of like 13 unless you really need them out like I did. But it wasn't like a bad thing. I actually really liked it because I don't mind being babied. Like, I mean, I'm getting surgery. You can totally treat me like a baby. That is so okay. Okay, so they did the IV, and that actually was the hardest part pre-surgery. They did the IV to start putting in the anesthesia. For me, it sucked because I personally have super crappy veins, and so and you're not allowed to drink water before. So I would usually drink a ton of water to get my veins like normal so that I can get the IV in and it won't be a problem. But they had an actual anesthesiologist there, like an actual guy that was his profession, right? So it should not have been an issue, but it was because my veins are that bad. Like they roll and they're small. And so that was the worst part. So they ended up having to stick me here, and then they just did it in my hand. That was awful. That was pretty bad. I kind of laid there for a little bit. I think it was like half an hour. Might have been less than that. Might have been like 10 minutes. I don't know. I was like real drugged up. The drugs started to do their thing, and it was weird. I got like really cold. And then they took me back to the surgery table. And once I was there, I actually had someone comment and asked me what it was like to have the mask, like that part. I don't really know how to explain it. Like, you really don't know what's happening, and there's no way you would be able to wake back up. So if that's something you're worried about, do not worry about that, because I was out like a light, because I was worried about it too. I was freaked out. I was like, what if I don't fall asleep? You are going to fall asleep. You are on a lot of drugs. If you don't fall asleep, I would be very, very impressed with you. But they put the mask over you, and then the next thing you know, you're just like blacked out. Like everyone was kind of around me, and I looked up and was like, this is like a movie. And then I was out just like that. I woke up and they gave me popsicles. I was still drugged up. You saw some of that. If you want to see some videos of me right after the tonsillectomy. You can go to my very first, vlog number 2, I think, was the surgery day. So that was the surgery experience. It was my first surgery, so I was freaked out. It was not a big deal. Obviously it was painful, but they give you a lot of drugs. Have I mentioned that I was on drugs? I was on drugs. Anesthesia, if you haven't had surgery before, it's like you can't even walk. Like, they had to wheel me out in a wheelchair. And then I went home and I just slept a lot. Then I'm just gonna go week by week now because this video is gonna be forever if I don't do that. First week, the first week that I got my tonsils out and was healing, I just ate a bunch of soup. You have to be so careful because you don't want to mess up like the surgery site. You don't want to screw anything up back there. You don't want to scratch it. You don't want to put too much pressure, so you just have to be so careful. I actually just stayed out of school because I was still in like a decent amount of pain. I do have to say it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it would be. Like, if I had to go to school, I probably could have. I just chose not to because I'm the kind of person who has to force myself to not like go crazy like after something like that. Like, I have to force myself to relax. While I was home, like I said, I just ate a bunch of soup and I drank a ton of water. Don't drink Coke. Don't drink anything with citrus in it. I am so glad that I didn't do that by accident. You don't want to drink anything with citrus in it because it will burn your throat. Don't drink anything with lemon in it. Don't drink anything with don't drink orange juice. I think you are allowed to drink apple juice, but even that I would be careful. Just like, if you have any questions, ask your doctor. But I played it really safe. I didn't eat anything with citrus in it at all. And I ended up fine. Like, I just ate a bunch of soup. It's kind of funny because everyone says like you get to eat a bunch of ice cream when you get your tonsils out. I didn't even want it. Like, sweet stuff tasted disgusting to me throughout the whole process. It still doesn't taste good to me yet. Throughout the entire process, it's like savory stuff tasted okay. Anytime I had chocolate or anything sweet, it tasted so gross because of like the scabs back there make everything taste weird. Before buying a bunch of ice cream, definitely like wait until after surgery and make sure you don't hate it, because I ended up living off of Bomb Pops and like Italian ices and was fine. I didn't even want anything sweet. That's probably part of the reason why I lost so much weight when I did it. I lost like 11 pounds, throughout the month of healing that it took. So that's the first week. The first week really is just be so careful, rest, don't do anything crazy, please don't work out. You don't want to put pressure back there. I would say just eat soup the first week. Okay, so then week number 2. Week number 2, I would play it by ear. For me, I was feeling really good, so I went back to school after a week. And I know that's not going to be everyone. A lot of people are going to take longer to heal, but for me, I was able to go back in a week, so I went back to school. Week number 2, eating wise, I still didn't like anything sweet. But at that point, I was able to start adding in things like macaroni or like pasta, stuff like that that's really easy to chew. So it really depends on each individual person, but for me, that was the case. Like, I was able to eat pasta, I was able to eat like potatoes or like roast, like stuff like that that you can chew up really good. Still don't eat anything with sharp edges, don't eat like pizza. So yeah, and then just make sure, I should have taken off 2 weeks of work. I think I took off like 1.5. I don't know what happened. So I ended up working an 8-hour shift, and actually like it caused a little bit of bleeding, and I feel like it set me back a little bit. So I would take off 2 weeks of work if you can, depending on where you work. Just to be safe, I would probably take off 2 weeks. So week 2, soft foods, still didn't like sweet foods. Still kind of chilled out, played it by ear. I did skip school a couple times. If I had a lot of pain and I knew my body was telling me to rest, I would just stay home and sleep. I didn't have a hard time catching up because my professors were totally willing to work with me on that. Week number 3, I was starting to feel a lot better. I was back at work. I felt okay. I still had pain. I switched to acetaminophen just over the counter about a week and a half. Wait, this guy was just walking down the street. Literally, his arms are flailing like this as he walks. That was pretty awesome. Yeah, about a week and a half to 2 weeks through is when I switched to acetaminophen. I just got the 500 milligram because the oxycodone or oxy something in the medicine that they gave me was really strong, and it just wasn't my favorite, and I was back at school, so I didn't want to be tired, and I wanted to be able to drive, obviously. So yeah, that's when I switched to acetaminophen. And at that point I did start eating some more crunchy, I guess you could say, stuff. Sweet stuff still didn't taste normal to me at that point. Like, it was slightly more normal, but really it wasn't at all. So but yeah, I started switching to stuff that I just could chew really good. Like, obviously still, like, even chips and stuff like that I would avoid just to be safe. I mean, there's no point in eating something just because you like it if it's gonna set you back with your surgery, so just don't do it. They still tell you to drink 8 fluid ounces of water every day, so even when I was at school or at work, I always had a huge thing of water with me. I would always just have one of these, like a big Tervis tumbler with me, because I don't know, it's a lot of ounces of water, I don't know how many. And basically, I would just be constantly drinking that throughout the day. Like, I wouldn't even count how many hours it had been. I would just keep drinking it and keep drinking it and keep drinking it. I was drinking about a gallon of water every day. And then when I was at work, if I couldn't drink a bunch of water, I would just suck on a hard candy. Like, I had lemon drops and it was fine. As long as it is not, like, it's not real citrus, like, it's not the actual fruit, it's just like the flavor, you'll be okay. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I just still drank a ton of water. I only ate things that I could chew up really good, and I switched to acetaminophen 500 milligrams. And actually, for me, it worked so much better. I felt so much better on that medicine because I feel like it took my body temperature down a lot. Like, I was getting fevers quite a bit, even on the medicine that they gave me. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. I am basically healed at this point. Like, you'll know when you're healed because 1, it's gonna stop hurting, and 2, you're gonna see pink in the back of your throat. So I'm at about a month mark now. It's been about a month, and my throat is still kind of dry. So I'm still drinking a lot of water. Just as long as your throat feels dry, still drink water, obviously. Still be careful. But I feel really good. I think I healed up really well. My scabs fell off late. They fell off about a week late. Usually they fall off at about the 2-week mark. Mine didn't fall off till like 3.5 or 4 weeks. That pretty much wraps it up, I think. If you have any other questions, let me know. I'm planning on making another video later this week. And just so you know, I think the plan, I want to upload weekly, and I would like to upload every Saturday. I had school off today, so I was able to make this on a Friday. But Saturday would be a good day because I could probably make it and upload on the same day, and it wouldn't be a problem. Saturdays are like my free day. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, if you have any other questions about my tonsillectomy, please like comment and let me know, because I would love to take your requests. I don't always know what kind of video to make, so it actually really helps me. So I hope you guys have a really great day, and I love you, and goodbye.